from the arbitrary arrest, and from this person has been deprived of freedom, arbitrary freedom, without just. Morara, the person who was complaining, who was purportedly complaining, said he's not complaining. Is it really, are we supposed to subject our courts to listening to such kind of cases? And if even the people who arrest these people, the police, no one has ever been taken action against. The other day, the court ruled that Masengeli had apologized and was free. Yet we had people who had been detained without trial, again, against our Constitution, Article 29. People had been detained without trial for 30 days and were just released, and the country moves forward. I mean, what is supposed to happen in our courts of justice?
Thank you very much for that question. If you had my address today before the magistrate, I was very careful to warn the courts not be sucked into political circuses, and that the courts must not become conveyor belts and holding brief for the political class. And the court was able to distance itself and say that we are not part and parcel of that. The reason why we are putting the court on the receiving edge, and of course, you also heard me saying that the manner in which the court shall pronounce itself in respect to this matter will determine whether the police will continue with these arbitrary arrests and these baseless charges, or they will stop. Because if the courts pronounce themselves in a manner that speaks that you cannot just bring anything before us and we admit it, then the police will also put some brakes in deciding whether to arrest and have that person charged or not, because they'll know they'll fight some resistance in court. So we cannot simply say that the courts are not trying. Our courts are trying the much they can, but remember they also try within a certain existing political environment. For example, you saw when Justice Mugambi sentenced Masengeli to serve 6 jail term. You saw the kind of the intimidation and the threats that was initiated upon his person, the withdrawal of his security. Remember, these judges are also human beings. Magistrates are human beings. They live in a society. They have functional families. They have functional activities they do on day-to-day basis when they are out of court. So when they get intimidated, they also retreat to their human aspect. They ask themselves, is there anything that is worth fighting for? Should I just sacrifice my family because of XYZ? So we must encourage our courts and call out government whenever it attempts to intimidate the judges and the magistrates. And you saw the kind of the bashing that was there, and the kind of the push that we pushed when Justice Mugambi's security was withdrawn. Because when you withdraw the security, you do not know what is next. So yes, the courts are trying, but other institutions are failing us. Because when a magistrate is faced with a case such as that one, he or she has pronounced himself. Remember, they're also subject to other institutions like the Judicial Service Commission, which also evaluates them and which can take disciplinary actions as against them. So all these checks and balances must be allowed to exist. And we must encourage the existence of those checks and balances than their absence. Because it's better when these checks and balances are in existence than when they are not. Because in the absence of checks and balances, what creeps in is arbitrariness, impunity, like we are seeing. So those institutions that are rising up, we'll encourage them to go on. Those institutions that are failing us, we shall call them out that this is not what we expected you to be when we enacted the new constitution. One of those institutions is parliament. We must not lose our eyes on parliament. We must not lose our eyes on Zakayo. Those are the two institutions that Zakayo is using to entrench himself and to bring some sort of dictatorship in this country. When he takes over parliament, when he captures parliament loses its legitimacy, it loses its voice, and it starts with the people. and they lose their objectivity. So we must call out Parliament anytime. Even this time, we need to tell Parliament that what is most important for you is not about regarding this impeachment, is about checking the entire executive, is about addressing the plight of the people, so that the fullness of time we get a parliament that responds to the plight of the people. And that's why I'm encouraging comrades here that we must go out there and get those votes. I want to see a parliament that is full of our generation and the younger generation. At least for us, these Gen Z and the millennials and some of those other generations, we have a bit of senses and sensitive to the issues of bad governance. So we shall encourage them to go on and make sure that we avail ourselves as candidates so that we are able to speak and remedy the wrongs. Allow me to land there, Farah, and
Thank
perhaps
you,
also
thank
work
you,
on.
thank
Yeah,
you,
thank you.
Wakili.
Thank you.
Uh,
Can I conclude, Farah?
yeah, we will. But I wanted to say
Okay.
two things. One thing I agree with Wakili when he says about the legislature, because once we take over the legislature and end the unholy matrimony between the executive and the legislature, hii hesabu inakuwa rahisi sana. And the second thing, let's not make it a Q&A between sisi na Wakili. Amefanya kazi leo, mwacheni alale kama hataka kupumzika sasa. The
Thank you
real
for
job.
holding my brief. Thank you.
No, it's okay, my brother. Don't worry. The real Joe. Then let's have Wanjira say something because she's raised her hand.
Hello, Farah, don't allow
SD.
Wakili to go. I have a question for Wakili. Don't allow him to go, Kiasi. The problem, you took a lot of time. Kindly allow Wakili to come back. There's something I want to ask him regarding today. Once you give me the mic.
We should have just asked him while you're at it. Rasdi,
I waited for you.
just ask the question, my brother. Ask the question. Go ahead. So that we do this mara moja.
Wakili Ndegwa, thank you. I think we interacted online mchana. There is a lot that happened during the day, and at this particular time, I want to thank each and every person that took his time, took that moment to check. It all started last night, and like we've said, and nimesema kitambo, all forms of intimidations will be there, but those are things I wanted to highlight baadaye. Wakili Ndegwa, cause umesema unataka kulala, let me just go first of all to the client, to the question that I wanted to ask you. And first, it's my personal reaction. There's something you've said about Waititu, and this is my personal opinion about the movement and our movement and everybody's. This is all Kenyan movement. In the past, I would wish that you differentiate Waititu, the client, and Waititu, the individual. Waititu, from where I sit, I know these are matters before the court, but from where I sit, and that's why I'm taking it as a personal opinion, I do not wish to regard him as a part of the movement and part of the. I don't think we are headed on the same. I don't know if we want the same thing for the country, bearing in mind that several cases, especially touching on corruption, are in the courts. So that's my personal opinion, and that one I don't know how you will answer it, but there is Waititu the client, you are client, which I can be your client in future, and there is also Waititu that faces the court, and Waititu has also violated the same constitution that you are trying to protect. Secondly, you've talked something very important, the spirit of our heroes, Mekatilili, and a number of them that you've mentioned. That is what is lacking. People, and if That one you will help me compound it or expand it in a manner that the people right now can understand. You do me a very great favor. Those heroes back then, they had a common enemy, and the enemy was one, and the enemy was one, and they knew what they wanted as a people. They were not divided on matters of tribe, on matters of political class, economic class, social class. They need to have those things, and they achieved. They achieved
Russ,
because of the unity.
Russ, bro, wind up the question.
Question already nimeuliza question, so you had told me to continue.
Wakili has
Okay,
actually left.
Wakili has left.
Yeah.
If Wakili has left, sir.
Okay, so let's go Real Joe, then Misika. Then, no, Wanjira, I see your hand is raised. Wanjira.
Yes, Farah. Hi, good evening. How are you?
I'm well.
Now, actually, I would have been nice if my senior, Council Ndagwa, would have been here when I asked this, but I shall just proceed. I just want to plant a thought in the minds of the people listening here tonight. Because we keep talking about IDs and voters' cards and registering as voters and ensuring that each and every one of us is prepared for the elections. But allow me to think, what are we going to do if the government decides to more or less cock block the voter process in this way? Ensure that there's no more issuing of IDs, ensuring that if you do not have an ID, then you cannot register as a voter. And here is what I was thinking. I think that we need to start thinking in a way that solves problems as opposed to sitting down and just discuss the problem and that's the end of it. I think that we need to start calling now. That if you have been given a waiting card, because a waiting card in this country, I want to say, and confidently so, is as good as an ID, especially if you are replacing, you're not speaking your ID for the first time. If you're replacing it, a waiting card, I dare say, is almost as good as an ID. In this sense, you have done all there is to do as far as replacing your ID is concerned. You have paid your fees, you have taken your documents, they have taken your biometrics, they have taken your picture, you have submitted yourself to the process as far as taking the ID is concerned. There's nothing else left for you to do that you can do other than wait. And the government, in its own inefficiency and ineptness and terrible flawed systems, has either delayed or refused to issue you an ID. And I can see a situation where 2026, 2027, there'll be it's going to be messy. In my opinion, I think that we need to start calling from now. And I will tell you why I'm saying we need to start calling from now. If you are a holder of a waiting card, be allowed to register as a voter with your waiting card, because especially placing your ID, that waiting card already has your ID number, right? It already has your ID number. So there's no reason why, on account of the government's inefficiency, you would be locked out of exercising your democratic and sovereign power. We should be allowed with that waiting card to register as a voter. Now, let me tell you why this is, and we need to start doing it now. It cannot wait for 2027. You know very well, and this is why I needed Wakili Ndagwa here, you know well that there's a petition in court asking the court to recognize that sovereign power in its direct form corresponds to a referendum for the removal of the president. And a referendum needs you to register as a voter, yes or no? Yes, number one. Number two, there's a bill in Parliament for the extension of term limits. A bill like that touches on the very heart and soul of the Constitution. It cannot pass if we do not go through a referendum process. That would need you to register as a voter, yes or no. say yes. And then now there's the main elections. So, barring anything between now and 2027, we at least have two really important national agendas that would need people that are not ID holders to be ID holders or to be voters. And the only thing preventing them from being registered as voters is the government's ineptitude, is the government's failure. They have done everything they can do. They are holders of, they have been waiting, people that have been waiting for months for these ID cards. So we need to start pushing now. If there will be a referendum, if there will be no referendum, if we're to wait for 2027, if you are a holder of a waiting card, especially if you are replacing your ID, that waiting card is as good as an ID. You should be allowed to apply as a voter using your waiting card. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I can see how, especially today, it showed you how many people are willing to topple the government head down. And they will do everything they can do, including voter support, not giving you ID so that you cannot vote. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I think that perhaps that is one way to solve the problem. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. Thank you again for the opportunity, Binti. Yeah.
Personally, I agree. Let me not even lie to you. I agree, especially if you like you said, if you're already like a ID holder, there's no reason why they should not allow you to vote with a waiting card. That might bring other problems by the side, but I believe that if it's a legitimate thing and it can be proven that that is your actual waiting card, because I know these things, see, it's just like paper. I know that might bring other problems, but I believe that if you can prove that it's yours and it's yours alone, legitimately, then I don't understand why they shouldn't do that. Because, like you said, this is like it's a stalling thing. They will stall and stall and stall and stall, and then they will keep thousands and hundreds and millions of people from voting using that excuse of, you don't have your ID. So let's figure out a way where we can actually make sure that these voting cards are proved to be legitimate, and then we go from there. But I think it's a great idea personally. I would like to hear from other people as well, like you said. So let's just go ahead. The real Joe, are you ready now? We just go ahead.
Yeah, I'm ready. Actually, let me just comment on Wanjira's. Wanjira, I think I'm also 100% with you there. The waiting card is already an ID in process. It is just actually in the final stage of the ID. So basically, it means that is an ID. You just don't have the physical copy of the ID. So I agree with you 100% on that. That is actually 1,000%. But let me just land because I think the issue that I asked Wakili, he answered. I'm satisfied with the answer. But I would want more. I would demand more than just calling out these institutions. In our times, in our current times right now, we don't have that luxury of calling out parliaments. They are used to being called out year in, year out for years. They're used to being called out. The only language that the parliament will understand is if we go and they see us in front of their gates. If they see us around even Uhuru Highway coming, wataingia na ile tunnel ya Bunge Towers, watapotea mpaka Utawala. That's the only language that they understand. So we don't need to call them out. We have been calling them out. They will never hear us call it. They will never do that. We need to ensure that the tunnel, hiyo tunnel ya Bunge Towers is now their main route from now on. They don't need to follow our highways. They don't deserve that. Let them be following hiyo tunnel ya Bunge Tower. Let them operate from there. So we need to just call a proper course of action, the way we did the other time. Let us declare rage. These arrests are unbearable right now. The ongoing issues that they're discussing right in front of our faces, Adani, they are discussing, they want now to discuss extending the terms and things like that right in front of our face. And they know we are going to call them out, and they're not going even to listen. So we just need to ignore all that. They need to be seeing us every Tuesday, every Thursday, right there in front of them. Let them be putting on sports shoes going to those parliament. Moving forward, let us declare rage. Let us occupy churches again and ensure that we don't give them platform. Let us deplatform them. Let us declare rage the way we did declare rage for the next coming months, so that these people can catch some discipline. Wametuzoea because we took a back step and they have now been doing things. Let us go back to how we started this movement. Thank you very much.
Joe has said there's no rest for the wicked. No rest for the wicked. By the way, you're very right. There's no rest for the wicked. Twende Nakazi, and yeah, you're right. By the way, you know those past few days of these protests, these mandamanos, yani these guys, we never let them rest. We're in churches, we're in schools, we're in whatever. Allah, who's muting us, Sasa? Hello, can you guys hear me? Joe, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can get you. I'm personally getting you.
Oh, okay. I think it was a blip or something. I don't know what happened. Like, yes, you're right. These guys never had rest in the beginning days, so let's not back down from that. Let's carry on with the same energy, the same energy. Even, in fact, let's amplify that energy. No rest for the wicked. Misiko, hi. Misiko CEO, hi. Can you hear me? Okay, so let's go to Special Envoy for now. Then we hear ladies. So Redemptor next.
Hi.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm the special envoy. At least I'm a lady. You wanted to go to a lady. No.
Sorry, I didn't realize. You have a badass car. Sorry. Yes, welcome to the mic.
Thank you. Personally, I think the enemy is within, and the enemy is in the young people. Not all of us, but a few of us. The reason as to why I'm saying this is because sometimes we are fighting so hard to get to these positions. We want to go to the house of, to both houses. But the moment people get there, they are not, since they did not have maybe money for themselves to campaign, they were sponsored by other people. And therefore, when they get there, they have to dance to the tune of their financiers. At the same time, you find that maybe we had leaders who showed us that they have a stand, they stand for something, they have something that they can fight for. But the moment they go there, for instance, the president will give you, he will give you a package, he will give you a gray envelope. Are you going to support this, or are you going to stand with justice and have an empty hand? And since most of us have not made it in life, they choose to go for money, and they're like, it is not the first time, I'm not the first one. Even if I don't take it, another person will take it. But on the other hand, I stand to appreciate and give a hand to the young leaders who have stood out in parliament, who have spoken the voice of the people. For instance, we have someone like Gitonga Mokonji, who despite being a young person, who despite having come from, like, he's from where the UDA chairperson comes from, Cecily Mbarire, but you can see the guy has a very, very firm stand. He can think for himself. He can stand with the voice of the people. So I think as a movement and going forward, we need to have people who are principled, people who can fight for the democracy in the country. For instance, let me just give just like 30 seconds. Let me give an illustration of Abdu Badida. If at all he was in the country, I am sure he would not have been convicted and jailed. But since you can see he's in another democracy, those people are following things to the letter. If we were to follow the corruption cases in this country, both the president, the deputy, and even the entire parliament, they need to be home. We need to fight for something. We cannot have the president telling us, the young people, that we need to go and work in other countries. We have to go grow other economies. Why? When are we going to grow our country? We need to fight as a people. Thank you. But I'm going to join this movement, and I'm really doing a lot of civic education at home and online. And you can see the moment you're talking to our parents, our grandparents out here, our aunties, they are able to see, oh, so there's another side of the coin. So it is easy to fight for justice. So it is good. It is possible to speak out the injustices in this administration. Unawambia wasiende hiyo unga. I remember another time in Kabete constituency, our MP immediately we rejected the finance bill. Alirudishiwa unga zake because alikuwa anapeleka kwa vitongoji. He's going to give them bursaries. Unakuta now the women and all people who are living the mkutano, they are still singing hail to the king of lies and Adani. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Special Envoy. Wala, you're giving me so much woman power in this space today, because usually I ask for ladies to come here and speak, but today I'm not asking. Thank you. And you're very right. But let me tell you guys, civic education, whether it's at home, whether it's in the streets, wherever it is, just do it. Just get up and do it, because that's what's going to help us in the future. I would like to go to Rivaldo Alafu Redemptor. Rivaldo, hi, because your hand is up. Hi.
Hi.
It was Misika. Misika has been here for a minute. Misiko.
Oh yeah, no, I called Misiko. Are you here again? Are you with us again?
Can I just?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay, Paulus. So let's just go to Rivaldo then we come to you and then Redemptor afterwards.
Okay, thank you so much. You can hear me well?
Am I done speaking now?
Somebody has.
Oh, thank you. Want to?
Okay, so Misiko,
I should be done speaking.
Yes, Misiko. Let me just give Rivaldo a chance, because I called you earlier but you didn't answer. So let me just let Rivaldo finish and then I'll come to you afterwards.
Okay, sawa, no problem.
So Rivaldo, please go ahead. Rivaldo, si ulikuwa unaongea sahi, uko wapi? Okay, sawa. So then, Misiko CEO, please go ahead.
Mine, I just want to congratulate everyone who came out today and everyone who stood justice for Morara and justice for Bruce. It has been a very good day. At least we have reminded these guys that hatujalala na wasifikirie tumesahau. We are still pushing till we achieve what we want. And our goal is one. Ruto must go with this bad government, with these bad leaders. We are not even concerned about everything that they're doing. What we want is him to leave. So congratulations to everyone. Good job to KOT and the team. We have really shown up that we are still there. Because these guys thought that tumemaliza kazi, bado. Kazi ndio imeanza. Mapambano ndio imeanza. So we are not going to see anything going wrong until Ruto leaves that office. Thank you so much and have a great night, everyone.
Thank you for that encouragement. Guys, we shall not relent. Meskia, we have not rested. We are not going to rest. We shall not relent. Thank you very much, Misiko. Rivaldo, are you back? I just go to the next person. Rivaldo, can you hear me? Can anybody try to reach out to Rivaldo? We just carry on. Okay, so sorry, Redemptor, please speak to us. Redemptor, can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. Hey, it's a bit late. Anything I say that should not be used against me in these late hours. Congratulations for running this space since yesterday, I think. Apart from today when people took time to show up and demand for justice, very proud of you. Yesterday when I was cautioning people about going out again, Farah, we are going to meet one of these days. Nikwambie why I'm now officially resigning from talking to young people. It's exhausting sometimes because Ndegwa Wakil Ndegwa is younger than me. I have admired his courage. He's been talking for a very long time. But today I hear him referred to Waitito as comrade. And I'm like, what is going on? The best thing in terms of alliances, bringing people close together. At first I used to preach discernment. Then I realized people don't understand that word. And I discovered this generation is smart, book smart, technology savvy. And I've said, do research. Get to know the people that you're interacting with. It doesn't mean just because everyone now is Ruto must go, then becomes a comrade. We sanitize them when they have corruption cases. There are very, very few politicians who can qualify for the word comrade, whatever you perceive comrade to be. The other thing I wanted to say again is just self-care. I'll keep going back to self-care. I was talking to somebody who has been on the forefront. I panic sometimes because I talk to people and the next thing you know, you see people have been arrested. These people of my age will tell you what you want to hear. So trend carefully with statistics. You look at people's profile, you listen to them saying, young people, go out there, do this. You think that they want you to do it for you. Some want you to do it for them. So if I get an opportunity to talk to Wakili Ndegu, I'll tell him that to reserve that word comrade for people who've been tested. In terms of voting, someone had rightfully brought the issue of voter registration and ID. Again, I'll come to the young people and say, innovation is your strength. Last time, in a just society, nobody should guard their votes. But we know we do not live in a just society. So where the young people can start thinking innovation, I've seen and someone talking about App Kura. Then I remembered how at one time, I think now I can use the word wakont that there was a tallying center for ODM. Mkiapisha tunaapisha, mkitali tunatali, mkirig tunarig. Turned out to be hot air. The strength of this generation, because the revolution belongs to the young people, is going to look at all the systems that have failed you, including IEBC, including laws that are changed and tweaked to suit the political class, and come up with the renovations. I was saying yesterday, I met a group of young people who are inventing apps, microfinance, for anything that is out there that can be made into an app. I think that is where the young people need to go. You need to talk to someone like best practice in public participation, who has written a book about civic education, and copy his model. He's not going to ask you for money to copy. How did he cluster his county up to the ward level? Why not go for things like those and say, even if we do not have the votes, even if they deny this, we can still tally the votes in our constituency, break it down to sub-county, break it down to ward level, and guard those votes. Because we know the system is not sleeping, trying to think through. Everybody wants, who has political interests, wants to be the young people, to be the horse they will ride to gain power. I caution you, as someone who knows my generation very well. That's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, Wakili has gone and I haven't had the opportunity to get his number. Maybe I would have called him and told him, I'm shocked at how you're changing tunes. You see people you've looked up to and thought they were comrades tweet something like an impeachment motion against Rigathi is an impeachment against the Mrima people. Such comments tell us that people have already been bought into the old system. Our hope is in new mindsets, but again does not include exclusion or judging people on physical appearances. Like, what do they seem to be tweeting about? Well, don't look at those things. Do your background check, use technology to your advantage. Elections are rigged every time using technology. We have the smartest people. We want to see what happened in June of 2024 happening again in terms of using information, using social media to package messages. How did we move and start having trending? The hashtag is regard, because it means that the means that you are using have been overtaken by the system that is fighting crazy. It's been a tough couple of days, seeing all the things that people are fighting against, winning, looking like they're winning. But I still believe there's a wind of change in this country. It will require a lot of patience. It will require a lot of tolerance for people you don't like, and also not judging books by covers and not trusting everyone. Waitito is not a comrade. He might have good intentions. He wants to come back, reinvent himself, become another seat. We know his history. A lot of these people, we know them. We are trying to tell you, yes, don't trust them. Then you're going right there, having meetings with them. People who are being looked up as representatives of the movement end up being meeting. This, I would not meet with a politician when I'm here trying to say we want change. I'm afraid even the association. I will talk to them, I will question them, I will get to pick their brains. Know your enemy, but don't get too close to your enemy. Your enemy is anyone who's trying to take us back to the old system of tribal kingpins. I am running away from it at a very personal level, and I'd wish anyone who is in civic education to just be aware when you're being dragged back to the same old, same old. Kioti Sonko must exhausted. Binti for co-hosting. Farah has gone. I wish you a good evening. I'll continue to listen and just be thankful every time people are out in the streets and there's no casualty, because you're dealing with ruthless people. I am thankful. Again, self-care. Self-care is when you're going to the streets, make sure somebody knows you are going, because it's still sad what this state is doing to protect power, fame, fortune, and they are using all the unorthodox methods. So have a good night, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. A real Joe Ujambo, that monster that swallows people in State House, that monster is still working. Have a good evening. Asante Binti. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Redemptor. And you're right. First of all, self care. Always make sure that whenever you step on the streets, somebody knows where you are. 100% right. And, I agree in terms of maybe some of us didn't even know our history that well. So it's important for people like you to come here and tell us, like, hey, yo, look this person up. Just make sure that they're actually together with you for a reason. And then let's also evaluate whatever other people say that they're for, they're with us for whatever other reason. And you figure out for your personal self where you align yourself according to that. So thank you very much, Redemptor, for pointing that out. And let's just stay vigilant. I always say this: stay vigilant. Like, don't just believe whatever you see, don't just believe whatever you hear. Always make sure that whatever you are aligning yourself with is what you truly believe in, and you've done all the research behind it. So thank you. I'll go to Rivaldo. Rivaldo, are you back? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Please go ahead.
So first, I'm very sorry for the network inconvenience I was experiencing the other time. So my name is Rivaldo Chieno. I'm still a student, a university student. So I'm very happy with the forum, and I've seen out there how our young people are concerned about their country. It is very sad. Indeed, it's very sad. After every 5 years, we are there crying, we are there lamenting our leaders for not showing up for their promises. So another lady spoke some minutes and he urged us about youth mobilization and the way we can have our votes. So my people, what I'm pleading you is, let's have our votes and let's do mobilization. With me here, I'm from Migori County, by the way, and Junet Mohamed is my MP. The other time they came with the president, and I'm sad even referring the president. And the other time when they were in the tour of Nyanza, they launched a project there about another small road there. Up to now, I promise, up to now, in the name of God, the road is still there. And the marker of the president, the sign of the president is still there, you see? And people are there Googling, people are there goozing, people are there saying a lot of things, praising, and now the road is there. The MP has not contacted any person, neither has he yet met any person. So I'm disturbed. I'm disturbed very much. So what we are trying to do there, we have started a youth mobilization forum and we have created a small WhatsApp group. By now we are almost 96, 95 members. We have come up with a small forum where we want to mobilize all the youths, regardless of your level of education. We want to change. We want to change our home, starting from the ward. We have decided this time we'll have a small, a young person representing us in the ward. We don't want to hear those maneno ya mzee, whether they come with cash, we will not consider. So what I will urge you is that let's stand still, because even in this forum, this a space forum, there are people who are allied to those leaders, and they are here collecting information. Some are even screen recording, some are even connect recording, phone to phone, phone to camera. So what I will urge, if you are a young man, let a leader don't use you for money purposes. Anakupea hapo 400, is giving you the 400, 200, 1000 to go collect the information from a source. This is a source of help. In fact, the young people are the voice of God. So what I will urge as I finish in the next 20 seconds, let's stand still. Let's pinpoint the bad things we are seeing. Let's mobilize our fellows. If you have a fellow, if you have a friend, tell the friend, here with me I have a forum where we discuss this and this, bring another friend, and then we come up with a common goal. And that common goal made us in Migori during that Gen Z, our protest. We mobilized ourselves, we ensured we are safe, and then we conducted our demonstration peacefully, regardless of how the police were brutal on us. So I thank you. Thank you, Binti Afri.
Thank you, Rivaldo. Can you just repeat before you leave? Don't leave, don't drop. Can you just repeat what you just said about what you're doing from where you're from?
Oh, I'm from Migori County, Sunait. I'm a student, a third year student, taking bachelor in computer science. Yeah.
Yes, and what are you doing there? You said that you're doing something there.
Oh, what I'm doing, what we are doing now, we are doing
Yes,
a mobilization of youth, but that is at home. By now we are about 96, 95 people, and we are mobilizing all the youth, regardless of education. By now we have formed a WhatsApp group where we give communication. Even yesterday we had a small meeting, and we agree of some issues. We want to form a strong forum. We start with the people from my ward. We have started, in fact, we have started from the village, and now we have expanded up to ward level. And I'm looking upon to expand it up to even a constituency level. You see? So it's
yes,
that.
and I appreciate that. That's what I wanted to be clear. Like anything you do, any move you make, it doesn't have to be like a national level. Just start from where you're from. Just make a move from where you're from, and from there you can grow it and grow it and grow it and grow it. Eventually, see, we said Kenya ni home and Kenya is ours. So thank you very much, Rivaldo, for pointing that out. Let me go to Pauline. Pauline, hi.
Hi, Binti. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you, KUT. And mine is to just say one thing. I don't know if we as Kenyans realize the power we have when we are a united people. I always say, and I've always said this, the moment we give bad leaders the opportunity to toy with us the way they want, they do what they feel like all the damn time. These are the results. The result is what we've been seeing going on. The abductions, people being arrested for no apparent reason, just to try and intimidate us, And I don't rather understand why people have to always sit back. A little bit of coyness always leads to nothing in the end. It leads us to be in the same situation over and over again. I'm very sad because looking at how things are right now, the situation, the state of our country right now, I see that with all the happenings, the government, the leaders are out to sink the country at the watch of us, at the watch of the people. And I believe it's the high time as a people we move together as one. I don't know, it does not matter where it will lead us as long as we try and push these people to the edge, because that's the only weapon that we have at this stage. I feel so sad to see a once very strong country being at the brink of collapsing because of the people who are in power. They don't care about us, they don't care about anything. They've vowed, and the moment they realize that people are against them, there's no way they will be leading us. They will try their best to embezzle, cough out money to buy the people who rather stand against them, and using impunity, buying guns, doing whatever we've seen going on with that guy from that gentleman who was very much abused. Many have been abused. It's just that we don't really know where they are. They've not come out yet, rather, in the limelight. So we really don't know what's happening. Because of what? Because we continue being complacent. We continue being, having too many agendas. People just being, feeling defeated. And to me, there's something that I always say. This is feeling defeated is the root cause of our downfall. So I would like us to continue being united, because it's now more than ever. If you think these leaders are out there to lead, they won't do that. They already know the ground is very, very hostile. And the moment people realize that they are not loved, they will do anything. And I mean anything. They'll come guns blazing. And we cannot allow these people to do that, because this is our country. We are the people who put them in power. And we cannot allow just a few individuals cause havoc, wreak havoc to 50 million individuals, and they're like less than 1,000. Can't we as a people realize that? I know they're trying to kill everything, kill the economy. And once a people is hungry, they can be bored, they can be messed up with, you see. We have not yet reached a point where we need to be like at their mercy. We have not reached that point. But if we play around, we will. And that's why I say we have to stand as a people. We have to stand united, try to push the agenda that we have. I'm so happy that once they took Morara, everyone rose up and yeah, he got released. But we should not continue to stay. We cannot sleep. This war has just begun, and we don't know where it will lead us. But I know for sure, if we continue with the same spirit, it will lead us to something good. We will have great people. We will have a country that's the heart system, the work. We will drain the swamp basically. So that's what I say, and I continue to always preach and say, as a people, more than ever. And we start by deplatforming any politician, because they're coming for us. We can as well come for them. What's preventing us from doing that? I don't care who is what or whatever, because they've messed this up. They continue to mess it up, and we cannot allow them to continue. We have to do that. There's no any other way, because we have the power, and they have to be pushed to the edge, because they've been doing that to us as citizens. So for me, it's being united, standing together as a people and pushing the agenda, because we want the change. There's no any other place we have. We have Kenya, which is our home. We cannot go to Tanzania. We cannot go to Uganda or elsewhere, because our country is what we need, and that's what we need to protect with our blood and sweat. I don't know. I might die tomorrow. Anyone? No, we're not leaving this place alive anyway. So it's the high time. If I die, someone else will come, and they have to know that yes, there was someone who was here before me. They pushed this agenda, and we continue to push it, because yes, it's our country, and that's what we need as a people more than ever. More than ever, this is the time. There's not time to slack. There's no time to get distracted by impeachment policies. If they impeach Gachagua, they impeach everyone, because they're birds of the same feather. Wasn't he elected due to him being part of the Ruto alliance, whatever that shit is called? Sorry, but To me, they're part of the same feather. So if they say they do this, they do the other thing. So I believe all of them should go home. All of them. And we should not be distracted by this. If they do that, yes, it's a time. This is the time for us to rise as a people. This is actually a golden opportunity given to us by God as a country and as a people. And more than ever, ever, as a country, we need to be united and push these people. That civic education anywhere, anytime. If you meet a Kenyan, irrespective of age, race, I don't care. We just need to know it's our country and it's what we're fighting for. Because we are young, we're gonna have kids. If we don't do this, who will be there in the future? Where will they call home? So that's all I have to say, Binti, KOT, and each and every individual listening to this. As a people, more than ever, don't be bought by money. Don't sell your country to dogs and people who don't give a damn about you. You know, we should not allow that. They loot, they kill, they do whatever, and we will end up in shambles. A once great nation, we will be, I don't know. It's hard to say, but I don't want our country to sink. But if we continue to enable these people, we will sink in the deepest sea of hell. I don't know. And that's not something I would want. Because after 2 years, look at the results. Can you imagine what your field will be like in 4 or 5 years from now? So yes, this message should go out to each and every person listening. You wake up every morning to go to work for what? Just to enable an individual kill, loot, and embezzle your funds because you said mambo ni ya tumbo. I don't care. Just know you have to have systems that work because you have no any other place to run to. You can go abroad, but at the end of the day, you want to go back home. And that's the country we need to protect with our blood and sweat and civic education. And don't allow these leaders to play with us, wasitupindue kama nyama za kuchoma tafadhali. This is something we need to know, and it should sink deep down in our brains. I don't have much to say. I'm very sad to see the situation back home all the time, and it makes me feel very, very sad. And I just want us as a people to unite and say enough is enough. That's all, and I'll drop my case. Thanks again, Binti and KOT and the rest of the individuals listening to me.
Thank you very much, Pauline. I just want to tell you to, first of all, don't lose hope. Today was a very good day in terms of we really put ourselves out there. People on the streets, people contributed. We were there. Like we did what we had to do today. That was our mission and we accomplished it. We still have a long way to go, of course. I'm not denying that at all. Lakini, we showed ourselves that we're still here. Like we're still not just in these spaces, but we're still actively engaging in all these things. So I would like to go to Adroga. If you want to speak, guys, we'll be closing the space in not very long from now. So if you want to speak, please request. We can hear you, and then we can close the space. Lakini Adroga, I think I'm saying that right? Adroga, hi.
You are right. That word in my language means a doctor.
Oh, pause,
Doctor.
doctor. Karibu kwenye mic.
Hello, dialect. I know those who are here knows it. First of all, let me appreciate Pauline, Binti, Africa. These people are Kenyans who are doing all they can outside Kenya to put bread on the table and even to contribute to national growth of our country. And since we started these agitations, we have seen massive support from the other end of the world, coming from the people from the diaspora. So we really greatly appreciate you, Pauline, Binti, and any other, all the Kenyans who are doing all they can in the diaspora states to help us agitate for a proper working governance system. That said, I also want us to, in any way we can, support our Kenyans, friends and sisters and brothers who are in Israel, Lebanon, and Iran, which are now highly affected by civil, by wars. So if there is anyone who can offer any support in terms of prayer, financial, or even accommodation, let's remember our Kenyans, because this government has turned a deaf ear to them. We have not seen any formal communication except for the 3 weeks ago that they actually coerced Kenyans to leave Lebanon. And since then, there is no action that we have actually seen coming from this rogue regime to support in repatriating our girls and ladies and boys and everyone who is working in those states. So let's pray for them. That aside is that, just as I said before, we give glory to God that majority of us are still alive since we started dealing with this very rogue system of governance. And we have to appreciate the hallmark of our agitation so far. Today was a very grateful day. We managed to ensure that Morara is released. And of course, we also displayed our wrath on the street as far as showing our frustrations to the political class on what is exactly happening in our country. I want to tell you that many things have been said here, and we appreciate every single contribution that all of us are actually bringing on the table. It is not by any chance that we can get people who can in any way contribute to those, and so we really appreciate our young Kenyans and even our old elderly people who are in the street with us to bring this rogue political class back home. That said, I wanted to say that just like Redemptor said, we now need to know where our enemy is. The biggest enemy that is sitting in the oils and is one Ruto, but is surrounded by a team of defense systems who we can approach and remove first, even before we get to him. And for the CIDs who are here, it is important that we let you know that we are not fighting Ruto. We are fighting a rogue governance system that has taken away the grace and benefits of our young Kenyans who up to date for several years. We have so many Kenyans who have gone to school and they don't have anywhere to put their hands or even to get food from. It is important to let you know, those government agents who are here, that you people, you are our enemy number one, because of the fact that our country, from the way things are, we are really trading on a very wrong ground that has been caused by your masters. Looking at the way things are and the way our country is being sold, we are here to protect our country, nothing else. And part of the problems we have is Ruto. And the most important problem that currently we have is the parliament, the National Assembly. I'm just here to let all of us know that our main problem is the National Assembly. This I said before. Today, if they want to impeach Gachagua, it is that same National Assembly. If they want to ensure the agricultural bills are going through, it is not Ruto. It is the same National Assembly. If they want to protect Ruto, it will still go to the same National Assembly. Comrades, our enemy number one is the National Assembly. Let us not look further. Let us ensure that compound surrounding the building of the National Assembly is a very small compound. The number that we had in town, if we would just have an agenda yesterday that were heading to the National Assembly, today we would have still gotten in there. So our enemy number one, and this one we said before, our enemy number one are the members of parliament in the National Assembly. There should be no any given room for these people in the villages, wherever they are staying. I heard today they want to increase the number of defense, the number of security. That is not the problem. We, the people, as enshrined in Article 1 of our Constitution, have all the right and privileges to recall them back home and even to push for their censure. We have everything it takes to ensure that they cannot come to the village. And as Western, I think it was Western who said that highway, that underground highway, that tunnel should be their main pathway. They should not be seen moving in the main corridors of our city and even in our villages. I am here to appeal to all of you that the challenge moving forward that we have are generally three. One is voters' card. This is one thing that our young people, we need to have national IDs. Even as we are organizing for the next protest, I think one of the agendas that we need to have is tuende tusalamia watu wa immigration. I'm told they want to move out of the building as if the building is the most corrupt or it is the people there. But they are running away from that building. I don't know why. Because if they cannot change their ways of doing things and become more civilized to serve Kenyans, now they are running away from that building. It is like transporting a seed that cannot germinate to another fertile land, believing that it will germinate. Our main problems are so many, but we have to focus on one major problem. Our main duty right now is to ensure by any means, and it is all eminent in the air, in the spaces, that William Ruto might not even see 2027. It is all eminent. It is there in the space, and before they catch us hands down without voters card and ID, I call upon all of us that in our civic education, I do it even in estate where I am. Everywhere that we are in, let us advocate by any way possible how our children, our brothers can get ID. And once that is done, how they can get voters card. We have to prepare ourselves by all means. Even before we discuss the ICT infrastructure voting system, how it will be done, the first thing we should do is to ensure how many votes do we have. It is easy for Morara, for Binti Africa, for KOT to be a president in this country. We have a constitution that is one of the best in the country, in the world, and it has a lot of good things in it. When well implemented, especially on issues of voting, in 2027, there will be no any given problem when it comes to taking either of us to State House. Even as we are fighting now, let's remember that our enemy number one are members of parliament. There is no doubt about it. Today, if they wanted to impeach Gachagua, it is happening within them. They are our enemy number one. The rogue laws and bills are passed in that same house. Leave alone the Senate. Our enemies are in the National Assembly. Our pigs that we took there are now feeding very well, passing laws that cannot make total sense to us. They are all in that house. in that National Assembly. One major thing, fellow prisoners, fellow comrades, that we should focus on now moving forward. Hii ID tunaipata aje? Kila mtu, we need to craft a better way that the university students, like the one who has talked here, the one from Migori, we have to work very closely with the university students. We have to ensure IEBC is formed as early as possible before we go far, so that as they take ID, and one thing, I know this is not going to be easy. It is not going to be a walk in the park, because they want to sabotage voter registration towards 2027. You never know. Even right now, they might be already votes, voting has been done. But let's make it clear that we start a new way of registering new people. Young people are so many. There are almost 20 million in this country. If they can all be registered, it can be one of the best things for us to do, so that we have data, even as we are moving towards 2027, which we might not even reach there. But we have to ensure that at least by next year, time like this, we have a proper data on how many people, especially ages 18 to 35, are eligible to vote. And do they have voters card? And do they have ID? That is one major tool that we have to ensure that moving forward, with all the energy that we have now put forward, we have to ensure that we craft a way forward on how to ensure people get ID. And as I conclude, I will still conclude with the issue of members of parliament. If you see any of your member of parliament, all of them, we need to know what is their worth. It is very disgusting that today, when I was following the proceedings in the National Assembly, I'm surprised that someone bought treetop somewhere, sijui akanunua nini. There are so many things this gentleman, and it is if this gentleman can buy all these things in 2 years' time, how many millions of money, trillions of money are getting wasted? So we also need to ask ourselves, moving forward, what do these leaders own? One by one, from the president coming down to the MCA, we should be in a position to know what they own. Otherwise, we are being stolen. The money is being used to do other things outside there. That is why our young brothers cannot be able to get jobs, because there are no jobs. And the reason why there are no jobs, I'm a medic. If you go to most sub-county hospitals, hakuna nurses, hakuna doctors. And yesterday, before they pulled down my page, I was in a very heated war with the CS for health. The reason was the SHA thing is a total sham. It is not making any congruent reason by any angles you look at it. It is not making sense at all. Is our money still going to be used to develop other people? And before we go far, we need to know, what does your member of parliament own? Huyu mtu ako na nini? Because now we are 2 years, and now the constitution has given us leverage to recall them. Tangu aingie, what are his net worth? Ako na nini? It is very important for us to ask that question now, moving forward, so that as fast as possible, we should be able to take some of them home. As I conclude, is that we need to remain united. We need to have a very severe cause moving forward, and we really need to look after one another. Today, I was very happy. I also had Hanifa doing some photos with Morara. Everyone was on board. And let us not forget the political class. Whether I know our country is riddled with hypocrisy in the political class, but those who have pushed themselves forward to in any way be in the front line for a better cause, whether they are pretending or not, let us be able to unite as one front. You saw what that could do today. When we unite, when we are together, there is a way in which getting Ruto out will be very easy. It is very, very important that this is something I've always said in these spaces. Let's have everyone who has a better motive for our country, who wants this rogue regime to go away, who wants systems that work, where Binti can apply for a job, can be interviewed, can be shortlisted, interviewed, and get what he deserves based on the merits, and not lie down for a certain member of parliament akulwe kwanza ndiye apewe kazi, na after 2 months or 3 months tena amevutwa. We don't want that system. Everybody, any member, any person who has a better motive for us to move forward, let's all unite together. Let's all come together and push for an agenda whose climax we will define when we finally reach there. Thank you so much, Binti and KOT.
Sorry, you're welcome, very much welcome, and thank you very much for your statements. Your last thing that you said, very correct. We need to be very united, like all of us together. We need to move as one. And you pushed for some things in there in your speech. You said voters card and ID registration. Yes, guys, it's not just the guys in uni that need this. Any siblings, any cousins, anybody that you know is 15 right now, that's going to be around 18 by 2027, please encourage them, like educate them using your civic education manuals, and let's see how we can get them to understand exactly what they're applying for and how they're going to utilize it in the future. So yes, you're very right. And even Wanjira suggested that we should allow people to be using voters cards. If you already have an ID, then we should allow you to use your voters card as like ID for voting. So that's another thing that we can even look into right now. So thank you very much, Doctor. I think you've just dropped right now. Like, yes, I agree. Oh, you're still here, Ajoga. Thank you very much. So I'll go to Gosh right now, and if anybody else does not want to come on the speakers panel, we'll be closing the space, and we'll be playing the national anthem, and then we'll call it a night, and then we shall meet tomorrow. So, oh gosh, hi. Hey, oh gosh, Kwani, you slept on my mic. What's going on? Hey, can you hear me? Okay, sawa. I think they've gone. I can see Wazalando, you're here. Before I give my last submission, I'll just give you a chance to speak. Let me just let you connect for a second. So Wazalando, hi.
Hi, hello. Hi, guys. What I would like to say ni manze, tukumbuke tu kitu imefanyika leo, That was a historical day. It was a good day that has happened. Now, we still have, like, the page is open for us. Tuko na unaandika ile kitabu umebai kitabu mpya alafu ijaandikwa what the future holds. It's on us. And we have to decide that. And we have to fight for that. Na vitu mingi zimefanyika, zimetu break, zimetufanya tuone ni kama kuna future, na vitu mingi zimefanyika before tumekuwa tuna lose hope, na vitu mingi zimefanyika, but so far leo imetu give like booster. Tunajua kama una feeling ni kama unafaitia Kenya alafu una feel uko peke yako, uyuko peke yako. Tuko wengi. Uko na ma sisters wengi, uko na ma brothers wengi. Na hii fight ishi hivyo pole pole. Ile siku una feel uko down, uyuko down peke yako. But sasa ni ile booster. Sasa tuko na booster. It's time to run. It's time to go for what we deserve. Jumanze, hii kitu imefanyika Coast. Nini ingine inafaa kufanyika to open up our eyes to realize like shit, man, you have to wake up. History imefanyika like kwa Bruce. Hatuwezi kaa hapa tunaongea hata tunaongea kila kitu, but Bruce, vitu zimefanyikia na vijana wenye wetu waliuliwa juu ya kufaitia government yetu. Hatuwezi sahau. Sisi Wakenya tunasahau wengi very easily. Sisi hiyo ndo shida yetu. Wakenya tunasahau wengi, but sisi ni Wakenya different. Sisi ni mayouth. Hatuwezi tusahau hivo. Juu leo inaweza kuwa ni mimi ama inaweza kuwa ni wewe, inaweza kuwa ni brother yako ama inaweza kuwa ni sister yako, inaweza kuwa beste yako. Lazima manze tushikane na tufanye change. Tumekuwa tumerelax, tumepata hiyo time ya ku relax, ku chill, kuweka mind yako together, but now it's time to get it go. Like really, mpaka when tutajua mse I take over everything na atufanyie venye anatufanyia. Sahi manze, let's stick together, stick with our brothers, protect each other, stick up with our sisters. Tuko pamoja. Rara ndio hiyo manze.
Where? I don't even know what to add after that. Like, you're right. I can't even. Yeah, you're right with everything. We are together. We call this space a united movement because we have to be united. We are one. We're sticking together. TMG, I can see you connecting. Sijui kama you've already connected. Am you ready to speak, or can you hear me? TMG.
Ni aje wa Kenya, mko poa?
Tuko poa.
Ndio nimeingia saa hii manze. Na niko nataka kusema kwamba wa Kenya kitu moja. Hiyo fala inaendelea ni essential, so that they can divert our mind. Tusawaliwa Kenya wakatupa miili kware, wengine wamepotea. Manze, so painful. Mimi nasikia mbaya sana. This is the time yenye nafaa tuweke mseo integrity. Tuseme tiye msee ni wa kwetu, sijui msee ni wa kwetu, sijui nini. Hii siasa ni ya kitambo. Sasa manze tunataka Kenya mpya. Wakenya manze tuamke. This is our country. We are young. Hawa watu washatengeneza pesa, wakatengenezea mpaka wajukuu wao. So wanataka tukiwa worship. Tunafaa tu resist kabisa. Asanteni.
Asante. Thank you very much, TMG. You're right. We've been saying all night. Today was very successful. Lakini, this is just a war. We're in a, hold on. Is it a battle or a war? Whichever way around it goes. This is just the start. Let me say that. This is just the start. And we still have a long way to go. Lakini, we have to appreciate today. What happened today was monumental because we showed we are capable of.
Yes.
And we are still together in this as a people.
Thank you so much.
Let's carry on. Yes, let's just carry on pushing on. Let's carry on, like, just injecting wherever we can. Whether it's through spaces, whether it's in person, per ground, let's just carry on doing what we're doing, but times it by 1,000%. Because clearly what we've been doing has been working for some things. Like, we need to work for everything else that we need changes in.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. So before I end this space, we're going to end at 12:30. Patrick Njoroge, hi. Thank you very much, TMG.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, hope you guys are well. Really happy for what has happened today. Indeed, we have a call, we have a say. Like I said some times ago, we have that energy. We have all it takes to reclaim our country back. Now, I'm a teacher, a high school teacher, and I was talking to my fellow colleagues who we work with about the civic education today. That really we need that political and economic revolution. And if it is not now, I don't know when. We have really to wake up each and every day. Whenever and wherever you are, let us speak that civic education because we need to reclaim our country back. Thank you.
Hello, I have for Lenny, but I have to talk to Dennis. Dennis, what I would like to tell you, endelea hivyo hivyo, and we appreciate. And that civic education, endelea mpaka hao wako kwa shule hizo from 1, from 2, from 3. Endelea hivyo hivyo. And we are together, we are a team. And I think this is a country thing because at the end of the day, because in high school, itakuja affect. So, Aluta continua and big up and shukran that you're doing that in school.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you. I think, Patrick, that was meant to be for you. But yes, you're very right, Rosalindo. Like, let's just carry on injecting everywhere we can. But for now, I'll actually go to Dennis now. Dennis, can you hear me? Dennis Checker?
I can. Good evening. Thank you very much for having me here tonight. Thank you, KOT, Benti, and everyone who is here, and all the speakers. Asanteni sana. We've had such a successful day. If you ask me, today, 1st of October, was the best day, I think, if you ask me, for our movement, because did we not just able to release Morala, but also prove to the government that indeed most of the charges that will be coming up, even in future, are futile. Let us continue doing civic education. Let us continue pushing this. Like we always say, in whatever language, in whatever way, be it on social media, I'm on the ground. Let us continue doing this. Let us pull resources together to be able to do barazas, town halls, and kamkunjis. Let us continue and teaching Kenyans of their rights, freedoms, how to protect them. But I cannot leave this space tonight before saying that an injustice on one of us is an injustice to all of us. So let us be our brother's keepers. Let us work together. Let us pull together to make sure that we achieve this, because from the signs of things, hapa mbele itakuwa ngori. The political class are going to converge against us, especially now that we have a political party coming. Inject. Shukran kwa everyone who was behind that to make sure it achieved. Tuko hapa, we are just waiting to register members. We are just waiting. I'm from Nakuru County na nimeambia wasi story ya waamini. Guys are just ready to even pay to join as members. People are ready to vie on this political movement. Kwa hivyo tusiongope, tujitokeze. Hii ni wakati wa mavijana, watu walemavu wajitokeze. Women, young girls, mjitokezeni, kamuni tusimame. This time tumeshikana, tuko pamoja na tutatoboa. Thank you all very much and good night.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dennis. I appreciate your sentiments. And yes, you're right. This is our time. We shall not relent. I want to say a special thank you, honestly, to everybody that showed up on the streets today. You know, we usually just say that we're going to show up, but then the last few times, nobody showed up. Like, today was a testament that we're still here. We're still in this movement. We are still fighting. We shall not relent, like I said. So thank you to everybody, and including those that were not there physically, like, they contributed in some way to standing behind our brothers. We're still fighting for the hashtag justice for Bruce, not just the hashtag itself, but the actual action of justice for Bruce. Morara is released for now, And I want to say a special thank you to everybody that was even outside the Milimani court center. So I want to say thank you to everybody that showed up, posters, whatever contribution you made. I want to say thank you, because honestly, this battle cannot be won by one person. It has to take a whole community, it has to take the whole country, it has to take all of us. We all have a place to play. We all have a role to play even. So let's not just give up. Let's carry on pushing forward. And from now on, whatever you did up to this point, times it by 100, times it by 1,000. If you're not sleeping, don't sleep for 2 more days. If you're contributing, contribute by times 1,000. If you're on the streets, please show up every single time we're on the streets. And somehow we will get there. So I just want to say a special thank you. And on behalf of Mabonga as well, our host, for always hosting us graciously. Huimsea Jalala for I don't even know how many days. So I don't even know how I'm gonna call him, if he's gonna wake up right now when I call him. But thank you very much, Mabonga, for having us always on your spaces and giving us a platform where we can all voice our thoughts, where we can come to solutions and just find a way to move forward. And thank you very much to all our listeners as well. And anybody that picks the mic to come and speak to us, we appreciate you all, because at the end of the day, we will not be here hosting these spaces if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you very much to everybody. We're going to end this space with the national anthem, and then somehow sijui how I'm going to wake up Mabonga, lakini wacha I'll try. So thank you very much, everybody. That's all I can say. And yeah, good night.
Tujenge taifa letu.
Thank you, everybody, and good night. Let's see each other tomorrow. Carry on injecting, and yes, have a good night.